And we are streaming live on Twitch.
We'll do it live!
And we're going to hit that record and get a copy thrown up on the YouTube.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you there.
All right. So jump in that tube.
What a matchup tonight, huh?
Man, here we go. Battle of some of the greats. Probably 2 future Hall of Famers. We got record holders.
I don't know if you saw the title or not, but I named the stream title Senior Night.
Okay.
Watching some seniors duke it out, and we'll see what happens.
All right. I like it. But we got Tom Brady versus Drew Brees.
Oh, yeah.
And who you got?
I mean, I need the Saints to win for a futures bet that I made early at the season, but I don't know. Buccaneers are strong, and they're underdogs in the matchup, so I don't know.
I think they're peaking at the right time, so I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Gronkaneers.
Okay.
So Gronk, 4 or 5 touchdowns in this game.
1.
Okay.
I think we'll go 1.
Did you throw a bet on it?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, in DFS, my low cash play so that I could make room for the other studs that I've got 3 left. I think I'm in 3rd or 4th place. So who I've got left? I've got Alvin Kamara. All right. You feel good about that? 6 more touchdown game.
I need a first touchdown by Alvin Kamara.
All right. We got Christopher Godwin.
I need a touchdown
by
Godwin.
A couple of touchdowns. So we're in sync. And then the crown jewel of my lineup, Cameron Brate.
Don't like that.
No, not so much.
Don't like that.
Hey, if he could get me 6 points, I'd be pretty excited.
Yeah, I bet you would be.
It can make the difference.
I think I'm pretty much DOA in DFS.
Yeah, so we'll talk about our quarterbacks who both underachieved. So we played quarterbacks opposite side of the ball in the same game. I had Josh Allen, who comes away with 12.54 points in Dynasty Kings. And you played Lamar Jackson, who didn't even finish the game.
Yeah, not ideal.
So he had, I believe, less than Josh Allen. But the guy who's in first right now played Baker Mayfield, who also had around that 11-12 mark. Nobody's really blown up except for a guy that nobody, I believe, played. Aaron Rodgers had a real nice game.
Yeah, go figure.
Hey,
he's good.
People have been doubting him all year.
Pocket, welcome
in. Here we go. Pocket, welcome. All right.
Glad
that
audio
fists weren't thrown in the Discord, so everybody's here. We're all friends. That's all right. No, there's some comments. I just tried to buzz through the feed when I sat down. Couldn't read it while I was driving because I'm not that cool. But there were some that I was laughing.
There's a couple. There's a couple gems. There's a couple gems for sure. The bets today didn't go so well. Pocket. I don't know how your bets have been going, but I don't know. I'm probably broken even so far.
Yeah.
Overall.
Let's talk about that game we just watched then. So we just had the Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns. I did have to miss the end of the game, but Kansas City holds on with backup quarterback Henny coming in and making some crafty veteran plays from the old guy, right? I believe Henny's 35.
I think it's his 13th season in the league, so he's a vet. But, a couple rushes down in the game and then a sneaky little pass.
Trickeration, some solid coaching. So that's the kind of game that...
I mean, you're bearing the lead of Pocket Browns equals, pretty much doo-doo. Not a great game for the Browns, but they weren't the worst. They wish they could do more.
I'll tell you what I believe the lead is that my quarterback, my dynasty quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, leaves. First he has a little toe injury, and then he ends up going out with a concussion. He is my dynasty quarterback. So prayers for Patty.
Prayers for Patty.
Let's get healthy.
We starting that now? The prayers for Patty.
Well, I was waiting for the stream of he's injury prones to come in.
I mean, we can start it up with the injury.
I know that Pocket's comment in the Discord. It's like, oh, what's he out for? And somebody's like, he's got a concussion. Go shake it off.
I don't think you can do that anymore.
Smash mouth.
Yeah,
rub some dirt on it. Rub some dirt on that brain and get back out there.
Again, it's so tough with concussions now because whether it's minor, you got shaken off for a little bit. I mean, they'll take you out of the game.
So Mahomes does have a build though, like as a quarterback, where he's not built to take a lot of punishment like a Josh Allen, like a Lamar Jackson. Again, Lamar Jackson.
I don't think Lamar Jackson is built.
Also went out with the concussion, so your body can be big, but your head still gets hit hard enough. And
anytime you're going to be somewhat mobile, I mean, you're going to be at risk for it.
But that is definitely a concern having him as my dynasty quarterback. But he's been good on the year. The big question will be, will he be able to come back for next week's game against Green Bay, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, so we're hard rooting for Kansas City to win that game. Everybody on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait, no. Kansas City's going to play Buffalo.
Oh, because they were,
right?
You were correct.
I think they're playing Buffalo.
So
Buffalo, Kansas City.
Respective.
That's going to be a game.
So
Packers.
Probably 2 weeks till that game.
We'll play the winner of this game.
Yeah, but man, it was a good game, and DFS
honestly,
play.
The Bills versus the Chiefs is probably your Super Bowl besides maybe the Packers. I don't know. I feel like those are the top 3 teams.
I feel like the Bills are the softest team left now.
Really?
I do. And again, I think that part of it, that Ravens game, if you watch that, I think it exposed a little bit of maybe they haven't played great teams yet. So they came up against a tough defense. Josh Allen had a bad day. Stephon Diggs had a pretty decent day, did get a touchdown, had 27.6 points in the DFS. So Diggs is still good, but if they hadn't scored that defensive touchdown, they only put up 10 offensive points in that game, I believe. So
yeah, but again, the Ravens defense was your number one.
That's true.
Defense all year.
His defense is not as good as the Ravens.
It's not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You didn't put up a bunch of points against a very good defense.
Yep.
And what you did do is your defense, which was supposed to be your B tier to your offense, actually held the Ravens to 3 points.
Yeah, the Bills did come out.
That's
true, but even when Lamar was in, they were getting after him, and they had good pressure, multiple sacks. So got a touchdown, I believe, on a turnover. So, yeah, the Bills' defense hasn't been their strong suit, but did show up. So maybe they're peaking at the right time. Deontay Harris with a big return. He was a guy that I also had in my DFS lineup for a little bit.
I don't think you would have gotten points for that since it was a kick return.
Well, so again, I've just been trying to learn more about DFS, and he was a name that popped up on one guy, kind of like us, kind of that level of podcast, kind of an independent guy, just,
Ravens have a lot of injuries, can't stop the run. They've struggled at times, but still, overall, you're number one.
But he was one that he liked just as a cheaper play because there's a couple plays against the Bears who, again, were not coming to play exactly.
No, but they relied on him for a while.
But they have an okay defense, but. Yeah, he was a guy that looked like he could maybe break a big play, and that's a guy that you can use. If you can get one of those guys for, in the cheap area who can bust a 80-yard touchdown, that's real useful to your lineup.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if you're playing tournaments, which I haven't dabbled in the tournaments yet, but I've been learning a little bit.
We'll get you there.
All right, we're continuing to find new ways to lose money.
Let's talk about that Packer game. Packers Rams, Goff with a broken thumb. I mean, didn't look great. Couldn't score.
Came out and played like Goff. I give him a little tip of a hat. He's one of those guys that I don't know that people necessarily question his toughness. I think they question his talent more than his toughness. But
I agree.
Again, it's just things like that. When guys do play through that, I think that at least just from a fan point of view,
Goff
I give
coming
him a
out of
little
the
more
draft
respect.
kind of looked like the guy like that SoCal, like carefree, like I don't really care, but he does seem to care. He wants to play.
Yeah.
He's solid, but again, his biggest hiccup is not his heart or his will. It's his play.
You had mentioned that you watched him when they were doing the Hard Knocks, and that him and McVay's, like the way that they speak to each other, their relationship is very like professional.
For sure. McVay is just an odd dude. He's just a strange dude, and I think Goff just tries to manage his part of the relationship. Just like, this dude's weird. I'm just gonna try and work with him. So,
well, that's interesting because that's another thing that about Mitch Trubisky that I'd never liked. It always seems like Nagy to Mitch is a very like adult to child relationship. The way that he talks about him, like, oh, this kid, and and that's not how like the good like elite quarterbacks. Granted, they're older, they've been around longer, but like you wouldn't hear Bruce Arians talk about like Tom Brady and like, oh, this kid, we just like him so much. Like he treats him like almost I hate Tom Brady.
But Brady's also won a bunch of championships. You can't really talk to him like that.
But I think that just, again, obviously there's some reason, some background, some age things that go into that, but just the way that they talk to their quarterbacks or like about their quarterbacks is something that I a little bit, as a guy who absorbs it for fantasy and follows teams, like I do pay attention to that. Well, I want them to have an adult as a quarterback.
Even the CEH, draft moment when you have Andy Reid talking to Mahomes about, hey, we're going to take this guy. You good with this? Like, yeah, I really want that guy. Okay, perfect. We're going to draft him. Like, that's the kind of relationship you want, where it's you're texting all the time, hanging out. But
all right, let's go to the chat. Let's see what we got.
I hope the Texans sell Watson's tough. And you're not going anywhere. This isn't the NBA. You don't tell us where you want to go. Watson's not. Here's the thing. Watson may not play for another team if they really want to hold him on the team, but Watson's not going to play for the Texans anymore.
I don't know. Eventually, you sit there and you see the money going down, and you see you're getting older in your career. You only have so many years that you're elite. I don't know. We'll see what shakes out. You would, if I am again in charge of this team, I think I'm just kind of trying to accommodate.
Schefter tweeted out a little while ago. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but he basically said the relationship is irreparable, and the offseason is a long time period.
Irreparable,
but as of now, it's not going to happen.
How can they not just go, hey, we hear you're concerned about these issues. We'd be happy to give $1 million to the charity of your choice. Like
it's deeper than that.
All right. So again, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but Hopkins, same kind of deal where it's
that's the thing. I don't think normally you wouldn't think so, but I've been checking Reddit, I've been checking other news sources, and basically everybody from inside the environment is saying it's awful. It's worse than it's even being reported to be.
So we got a report in the chat here. There's some rumors of Watson tweeted that he's going to New York to visit. This time of year.
I'd like to see that tweet.
Well,
is it new?
The Jets they're not getting probably Trevor Lawrence, so maybe the Jets are looking for a quarterback. Right. But Sam Darnold, again, I still think he's got some potential. I don't think he was the problem with the Jets this past year.
No, I don't think so either. If I was a player on the Texans, I'd be pissed.
But again, they may have been referring to the Giants. So if the Giants, but they got a guy too who's a young quarterback.
I don't hate Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes.
Actually made an offer for him. If I was a player on the Texans, I'd be pissed. All the players are pissed, but at ownership, it seems, not at Deshaun. They're pissed at how everything's being run, and J.J. Watt just asked for a trade. I mean, these players are asking to leave.
Yeah, things are not going well from the top down over there. But it is interesting. Like, if you were just upset, let's say you had a cause you're really passionate about. We won't even name one, and you went into your work and you're like, I think you guys should be doing more to do this. And they're like, we that's not what our job is to do. Like, we are playing football. Like, if you would like to do that on your time, feel free. But like, should the owners, again, do they have an inherent responsibility? I don't know, but I think I could see if they wanted to be like that. Just like, we play football. You come here, you can play football, and all the luck to you if you want to go do this other thing. Maybe if they were actively discourage him doing something, maybe that'd be different. But again, come to work, and we'll manage work, and you go do your thing.
But it's more like, hey, you're at work, and then all of a sudden we're going to take these things away from you, and then we're going to change all these other pieces, and then we don't want your input about your job. So you think he's more upset about
the Hopkins and like the football side of it?
It just started with that, and then
the rumors I have heard have been more along the lines of like their social participation and activism.
It's been that, but as well as it's basically about ownership not taking the players seriously and not giving into their wants, but at least, acknowledging them and doing their part to, try and, bridge the gap between the players and ownership.
It sounds like a mess.
This is my nightmare.
It is. Texans crashing and burning right now. Yeah, no, they're fan subreddits. They're all not going to be fans until the whole ownership is gone. Leadership is gone.
Again, this is nothing I've heard rumors about, but if we're just writing a story of like, this would be interesting. Deshaun to the Dallas Cowboys. He just goes next door, knocks on the door. Jerry says, hey. Like, if he could undersell Dak.
If this happens, it will be something that's never happened before as far as like this high profile of a player. Because seriously, he'd be in the Mahomes conversation on the right team. Like that caliber of elite.
He's definitely shown some top level talent.
So I don't know. So right now, rumors are 49ers are the most likely, and 1B is the Dolphins.
How scary are the 49ers if he goes there? Like, I feel like the 49ers are a formidable team. They almost have to rework everything they do and how their scheme works, but they have a good coach who can do that.
Not necessarily. I mean, I think they're hampered by Garoppolo right now, not necessarily, the scheme itself.
Well, Garoppolo only played, 2 or 3 games?
Yeah, and he's just not very good. Deshaun Watson is such a upgrade at that position. You can do whatever you want. Deshaun Watson's floor is what you've seen from the Texans. I mean, he's got no resources. He's got no wide receivers.
Right now, they're built as a dump off yard after the catch, just kind of team. But if you get Deshaun there and
you combine those assets,
it's interesting. I would be afraid of that team. But here's the thing about the 49ers. Everyone on their team was injured this year. Like, can they manage some semblance of health next year?
It wouldn't matter as long as Deshaun's healthy. Really,
it would help them. I think Deshaun Jackson helps
Deshaun Watson.
90% of the teams he goes to instantly. Like there are maybe 4 or 5 quarterbacks that you feel like if he came in and switched them,
and I actually posted a tab on Reddit, I guess, or whatever on Reddit.
We get it. You go on Reddit.
Yeah,
Nick.
I know. I was saying, what fantasy wise, what player would get the biggest jump in value with the signing of Deshaun Watson? Like of the actual candidates that can trade for him.
Oh,
you're talking all the bottom 8 teams.
Man.
Like Mims going from like maybe late end wide receiver 2 to 3 to top 12 potentially wide receiver 1.
Mims, a rookie on the Jets, is one of those players that the Trevor Lawrence, like them get blowing that and winning a game. It just Mims was up here for me because like, he's gonna have Trevor. He's gonna be the guy. They're gonna grow together. Like no thanks. Like,
yeah, and Mims is shown to be solid. It's just they can't necessarily get him the ball. I mean, the team is just kind of disoriented.
And we've talked a little bit about the Jets, and everything will look very different next year. They'll have a better coach. Yeah. They'll have some players back that opted out. They should have their good
says that Watson wants to go to Miami, and that's what
I've seen that, and that's one where Miami has the picks and Tua, so they could do that. Like they could make that trade kind of work.
If you're the Texans, do you want Tua?
What's that?
Do you want Tua if you're the Texans?
The Texans, I have no faith in them at this moment, but like Tua is better than he just sits out the year and you get nothing.
The thing that's in the Texans' favor here is they'll get full value for Deshaun Watson as a trade partner, no matter how bad the situation and leadership goes. So pretty agree. Any team is kind of in the running for this if they want to pay enough for him. So I think that's going to be the thing.
Something must have happened. Jay Glazer says Drew Brees will retire after this season.
You
get the same one?
I got the same one.
All right, so this could conceivably be the last game that we get to watch Drew Brees play in the NFL, and he's been fun to watch. I like Drew Brees. He seems like a decent guy. Got that Super Bowl for the city after they had the big hurricanes and stuff. So
it means Rivers is coming back.
Drew Brees seems like a class act.
Yeah,
got nothing bad to say about him.
No, he seems good. Threw the ball a lot. So I saw an interesting stat today. They said this year there was 14 quarterbacks that if they were on the Bears would have thrown for the record, the Bears passing yardage record. 14 guys.
Okay. If ifs and nuts.
They were the only team in the 16-game era to not have a 4,000-yard passer.
Ifs and buts or candy and nuts, I think is the same.
It's just
that's all right. Where are we? Bad. All right, so what do we got? We got Banjo in here. Hey, Banjo. Tua will get shattered in Houston. Pretty agree?
They have no offensive line.
Maybe they get some picks and they draft some offensive linemen with Tua.
Welcome in, Banjo.
So let's spin it into a different kind of narrative where this actually works out for the Texans. They get a couple high-ranked picks and Tua. They rebuild their line. Tua comes in. It could, because they get those picks to build their line, actually kind of work out.
But that's why I'm thinking almost with San Fran. Okay, you get Jimmy Garoppolo, right? San Fran takes on some of the contract. You get a boatload of picks. I mean, Garoppolo's not good, but he's an okay middle-of-the-road guy until you can figure out what you want to do at quarterback. But, I mean, you can at least get a lot better on as the rest of the football team kind of fills out. But you can't do anything without a quarterback.
You got to also think if Deshaun's gone, Will Fuller probably bails. He's a free agent. Again, they already obviously gave away Hopkins last year. You got Brandon Cooks, who I've got on Dynasty, who I would just love to trade away.
I mean, we haven't talked about, but what about the Jaguars? I mean, they have the 1-1. What if they just punt on Trevor Lawrence? Put a small package together for Watson and try and sell it as, hey, we're trading you almost a straight up value piece.
I like that. It's like, here, we'll basically give you Trevor Lawrence, a new quarterback. The thing is that they're not going to do that because when you get those quarterbacks on their rookie deals, it's so beneficial to your team because you can use money to pay for other positional players.
Right.
I wouldn't do that. I don't think any rational GM would do it. The only thing is you get a more proven asset for a guy who has not yet been in the NFL.
Jaguars have too much money to make if they draft Lawrence. If they get Deshaun Watson, they'll be fine.
I think
they'll be fine. Here's the thing holding that up is Deshaun Watson does have a no trade clause. So if he would have to prove basically any trade partner. So I've actually had people make offers for Deshaun Watson today in our Dynasty League.
Hoping he'll go somewhere.
Because really, he can't go to a worse situation than he is in.
A lot of those that we talked about, I like better for him.
For sure.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, there's a flag, though, so this is going to come back. But Deontay Harris, guy we talked about, almost plugged him in. Did break a big one there, so.
Yep.
I can't even remember the name of the guy I was
watching.
watching.
They bring it back, 'cause I still need that. I still need that Kamara touchdown.
Yeah, I could use the Kamara touchdown as well.
Yeah. Watson to Detroit for Stafford and picks. Stafford's a free agent, though, I believe. So I don't think they can actually trade him. But I know I like Stafford.
I don't think Stafford's going to be that good anymore. I think he's getting old. I think he's hurt all the time.
He's not that old.
He's too old.
I'm
too old.
If Stafford goes to the Broncos, I'm going to put him in the top 8 already.
No chance for me.
He's thrown for over 4,000 yards every single season he's played.
He has partially because the Lions have just been down and have to throw and have a bad defense.
If he goes
he's not going to throw that much if he goes to the Broncos.
Oh, he'll throw all the time.
Nah, they're just a defensive team. They don't air it out.
I'll make a stand now. Matt Stafford will be a top 8 quarterback if he goes to a decent team.
Top 8?
Decent team.
Top 12 maybe. Sneaks in at like 11, 12.
Let's say best situation. Let's put him on the Colts, right? Where do you put Stafford on the Colts?
Well, let's say T.Y. walks. They've got Michael Pittman, who I like. Paris Campbell probably coming back off injury and getting injured again.
See, you're not.
They don't have a lot of wide receivers. They want to run. He's not a top 8 if he goes to the Colts as far as a quarterback.
I don't know if I've felt more conviction about being right on something.
We'll see, but I don't think he's going to be in the top 10.
I'd put a lot of money on it. There's no reason not to. I mean, he's been borderline top 10, top 12 on the line.
I don't think he makes it through the season without getting hurt.
Maybe. But, I mean, he gets sacked a ton up there, too. So
if I had to pick like 5 quarterbacks that will get hurt next year, Matt Stafford, wherever he goes, would be one of my top ones. Again, I would like him more at the Colts because they have a better line to protect him.
Stafford will count $9 million against the cap this year. Is that for real? I feel like they'd just keep him then. I mean, that's not if they traded him or if they cut him or what. Because I'd pay Stafford $9 million to be my quarterback for a year. No problem.
You can have him.
Touchdown nullified. Seriously, if he goes to the Colts, I'll take him early or the Broncos. The Broncos threw a ton.
That's all right. Quarterback you need on your dynasty team is Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold?
Yep.
I don't think so.
With Mims, new coach.
But yeah, so Watson's no trade clause will kind of hurt a couple teams' choices, like the Bears.
He might want to go to Chicago. I've seen the Bears kind of campaigning for him a little bit. You see a couple of the tweets going like, "Hey, like couch is warm." There's one with the Simpsons where it's just like,
yeah.
I think that would be great for the Bears. I think that the team actually, if you just plug him in, and let's say the Bears just have to trade future picks, like they're competitors next year. They're in the hunt.
If If Watson goes to the Bears, they'll instantly be a top 5 team.
They still got to beat the Packers. Can they beat the Packers? Like, what do you think? Do they split with them? You think they beat them both?
I'd put them same level of.
The Packers have looked real good this last couple games. They have looked
really good, but I think our defense is better, and I think Deshaun Watson could do more than Aaron Rodgers right now with a decent offensive scheme.
Yeah, and you also have to consider that Allen Robinson's a free agent. So again,
if you bring in Deshaun, you're signing Allen Robinson, or you sign Galladay, or you sign somebody like that.
Another high end receiver.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's all or nothing.
At that point, you go all in. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But
all right, I like it.
Yeah, why not?
I don't think it's going to happen, but I like it.
Well, I mean, why not? I mean, I'd trade the next 4 or 5 first round draft picks, no problem.
So
first and seconds,
sure. A chance.
I don't care. Take him. I'd rather have Deshaun Watson. Let's see. Pocket said top 5 QB. Yep, I would agree. Marcio wants us to keep talking about the Packers though. Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones, over 100 yards, and he got 116 yards and a touchdown, and they still it wasn't.
Send Watson to Green Bay. Don't you dare.
So they're not using him like a workhorse yet this season. It's always he's got a couple. Jamal Williams is actually a guy that I traded for because I wanted him kind of to be the cuff, but also if Aaron Jones leaves and he's there, I think he has some standalone value. He had some good runs. He's picking up chunks.
Can I time this out real quick, though?
Absolutely.
Watson to Green Bay for Rodgers and something is after drafting Bryce Love and no wide receivers and then trading him to the Texans would be the ultimate slap in the face. I think
their team is very built on Rodgers and he knows the system and runs it well.
It is for sure. I'm just saying as a troll move, if everybody's buying into the theory that the Green Bay Packers hate Aaron Rodgers,
maybe they do.
That would be
maybe everybody hates
Jones,
Aaron.
He looked very good.
You done messed up, Aaron.
One of the guys, like I said, we talked about in DFS. Aaron Rodgers had a great day as far as his fantasy points. Nobody played him because everybody hates Aaron.
You done messed up, A.A. Ron.
Him and Coach LaFleur.
Cram it up your cram hole, LaFleur.
They got the win, and so they'll be going on. And remind me who they play again. I had it.
The Packers?
Yeah.
They'll play the winner of this game.
Oh, so they'll play the winner of this game. So they'll either get old Drew Brees on his retirement tour or old Tom Brady on his fourth to last year in the NFL. And man, it's good football, good quarterbacks seem to win games.
So do you, as an Aaron Jones owner, do you really believe they re-sign him, or do you think he moves on?
I think that they could re-sign him. I think that it makes sense for their team. It'll be interesting to see if they win the Super Bowl. Like, a lot of things kind of change if you win versus if you lose.
I would agree with that, but do we think they're going to win the
there
Super
are a
Bowl?
lot of good landing spots that he could go to where he would fit well. I think he's young enough and played well enough. And also because they've kind of not used him as a workhorse, he stayed pretty healthy this year. He's had a little nicked up kind of things, but he doesn't have a ton of miles on him.
I actually think he's being used pretty well. He's getting, 16
winning.
to 20 rushes and a couple receptions Christian McCaffrey is obviously a great piece for fantasy, but there's the injury of risk every week when you're getting 35 touches a game.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, like, with our market that we live in, we get to watch a lot of Packers games, and they haven't needed to use him as a workhorse. Most of those games they've just kind of had in control. They felt like they were, in the driver's seat, and they've just, all right, we'll throw him in. He gets a touchdown, puts on his golden glasses.
Well, that's the best part about him, too. Like, this game,
his fake crown, and he sits down on the sideline while they throw a couple more touchdowns.
If I remember correctly, this game, he didn't have a great, first third of the game. And then, again, once they got the lead, once they had a little bit of a cushion, just ran it down their throats. And, man, he looks solid. CMC will be awesome next year with a year off. I think so, too. I'd take CMC at 1-1 still. Banjo says, send Love with him. Have Rodgers teach that system.
Also, the comment about Bryce Love can't hit the side of a barn with the pass I've read. Well, he doesn't need to because he's just there to carry Aaron's stuff to the locker room. Like, that's the only reason they drafted him was to just carry Aaron's pads.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Bryce Love, but again, they seem to develop guys, and we'll see. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me just because we're self-deprecating Bears fans and he's just the next coming.
He's the GOAT.
He's the best.
Yeah. We love to hate Love. That would be the quote, I think.
Well, you don't hit a barn in Green Bay.
That's true.
CMC, again, I did. That's one I threw in the Discord. Was like, would you trade him for two big pieces like Dobbins and DK, two young kind of upside studs? And the chat actually was all pretty much like, no, you hold on to Christian. He's your guy. He's going to be big next year. Again, the 3 games he played in this year, he had over 20 points. He is young. He's on a good contract. The knocks against him, his team's not great. His quarterback kind of faded at the end of the year a little bit, but yeah, it's just hard to argue with Christian when he's healthy and playing. He gets huge volume. There's nobody to push him for carries. It is worth noting. So I had a dynasty offer to me from Chris, our buddy, that he wanted to try and trade me Mike Davis because I'm the Christian McCaffrey owner.
Right.
And I informed him, which he was unaware of, that Mike Davis is a free agent and likely will go on to a different place.
Right.
So if you're in dynasty, that's a good little tidbit for you. Don't
I saw
trade
a
for the
couple
cuff
old
that's
clips
not going
of
to be there.
Mike Davis. He had a couple good runs back when he was with Seattle. I mean,
Mike Davis has been a usable, good guy. He did a phenomenal job. And this is one of the things that I was maybe, if we're going back and looking like, what were you most wrong about? In Dynasty before the season, I had Christian. Mike Davis was just sitting on there on waivers. And I was like, even if Christian goes down, Mike Davis isn't going to be that good. I don't think he's a talent. We had seen him on the Bears, and he wasn't good. And I was wrong. He was very usable, and I wish that I had just tossed him on there. But I didn't think the cuff would be that good because I didn't think that the Panthers would be that good. The Panthers were actually kind of they kind of surprised me. I thought they were more competitive than what I thought they would be this year. I thought they were kind of, more 2-3 years out. But
Pocket, CMC, Kamara 1-2 next year. Where's Saquon fall?
For me, I'm not taking Saquon unless he's fell down to the 9th pick. I'm not taking Saquon.
There's a chance.
Even then, I'm not a Saquon guy.
I think I'd go Christian. Then I think I still go Derrick Henry. Then Kamara. I'm gonna take JT third. I'm gonna do it.
Ooh.
No, I'm gonna take Dalvin third, and then I'll take JT fourth.
Okay. Man, fourth,
And I'll take Zeke fifth.
I'd be shaky, but I like it. I like Jonathan Taylor, but I like Saquon. James Robinson is an interesting one. Will he be better or worse with a better quarterback? You'd think that as a running back, let's say they bring in no one else, and the only thing that changed, again, this is very obviously other things will change, but the only thing that changes is he has a better quarterback. It helps him. He's better.
For sure. Absolutely. Because the team will be better.
Yeah.
More time on offense, more opportunities. And again, I don't think he's going to get 98% of the RB work next year like he did this year, but maybe.
I think he played well enough that they don't necessarily feel like we have to draft a running back like in the third. Like
I'm still not bought in enough on James Robinson to draft him where he's going to get drafted. I mean, he's going to be a value for somebody probably, but I just can't get myself.
I felt the same, and I went back and looked at his numbers, and like they're
good.
really, really good.
They're very good. Absolutely.
I might be again if he's dropping because people kind of feel the same as you, and he gets like you got the 112 maybe, and you're looking for a running back, and all those other guys have gone. Let's say in your league, like
I'm not taking that.
Only one wide receiver goes in the first round.
I'm taking Diggs over him every time.
All right, again, I can see that. That makes sense, but I like Robinson.
I'd take Robinson maybe with a
second round,
middle third.
Ooh, yeah, he's gonna go higher than that.
I know. I just don't know how much I just can't imagine paying more than that. What kind of, where would you put him around?
Mid-second.
Like what player, like comp?
Oh, what player comp as far as
Value-wise.
running backs? A lot of things will change and shake out, but I think after those first like 8 running backs go, like maybe like.
You want this year's Melvin Gordon or James Robinson?
I'd rather have James Robinson than Melvin Gordon. That's
Cam
a good line.
Cam Akers moved up to the first round after a late season surge. I'd take Cam Akers early.
Yeah, I could see him and Robinson and finishing close, but Cam Akers did look good at the end of that. Here's a knock on Cam Akers. Like, he had injuries throughout this year, and if he's kind of the workhorse behind that bad line, it wouldn't shock me if he's one of those guys that misses a couple games.
I think this draft coming up, though, there's so much depth at wide receiver that you're going to see so many running backs go in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of running backs go. Because, I mean, there's 40 wide receivers that can put up wide receiver 1 numbers, any given week. So the running backs that just don't have the same opportunity. That just doesn't happen.
There'll be some rookie running back that goes to a good spot and he gets hyped up and he's kind of in that range too, where it's like, are you going to take Robinson or are you going to take,
Yeah, you see like Najee Harris to Atlanta.
Yeah,
you want Najee Harris
that.
in Atlanta, or do you want Mixon coming back?
I personally don't want Atlanta running backs because they're a pass-heavy team that doesn't want to run
who they just
the ball.
got?
Did they just change coaches to? Did they get the guy from Seattle?
No, they got the Titans offensive coordinator.
Okay, well that does change things.
What do you think about that now?
I'll have to look up if their offensive coordinator has changes, but I know that their offensive coordinator is a pass-first guy this past year.
Let's see. If Jones leaves Green Bay and Dillon will be a top 2 round pick, what's Jones' value? I got to see what else develops with the Packers situation.
So A.J. Dillon won't be a top 2 round pick. He'll be maybe a 3rd round pick, especially if Jamal Williams is there, if they bring in another piece. Aaron Jones, though, I think it completely depends on his spot. If he goes to places like the 49ers, if he goes to Miami, he'll go pretty high. He'll go in the 1st round.
Yeah,
if he goes
to Miami, Arizona,
that'd be a good one.
Let's see. I would say
49ers.
He'd be good. 49ers, I'd take him high in any of those situations.
So then there's 2 other spots that have kind of like, I don't necessarily want him on the Texans just because it's a garbage fire right now.
Yeah.
But like he would be the guy who'd get the volume there. He'd actually kind of fit what they do. And the Jets would be the one where it's like, I don't want any Jets, but they'll have a new coach. Yeah. They got Darnold, who's a young quarterback. They got, Mims as a young wide receiver. He should get volume there. It'd be interesting. I still think Aaron Jones
on the Jets,
almost no matter where he goes, is going to be a top 2 round running back.
Honestly, Seattle would scare me because everybody gets hurt in Seattle.
But man, the volume. He doesn't pound kind of like they like to run.
He hits though.
He hits, but his size isn't. Like, if you watch him, he just is another guy that I watch him run. I'm like, oh, don't get broken.
Really?
All my pieces, like him and Mahomes, I watch like, I know you're good, but please don't get broken.
Ronald Jones hits with purpose, but then he ragdolls pretty well. Or doesn't take a lot of injuries. I mean,
Ronald runs
a grinder.
hard. I'd put him in like my top 5 if you just watch him run, like look like they're running, like you wouldn't want to get hit by that guy running.
What do you guys make of Jacobs in Vegas? Jekyll and Hyde. What?
So he had some huge games at the start of the year. So I think I was maybe a little high on him, but he had a lot of games where he disappeared at the end there. He got you 10 or less points. He's a knucklehead. Got that. I heard it wasn't a technical, like at the end of it, he didn't get charged with DUI. He get charged with like some other traffic violation. I don't know, whatever. So we'll see if he misses games or not and how that shakes out. The Raiders as a whole are tough. Like sometimes they look good, sometimes they don't. I don't know if anybody's good on that team or not.
I think I saw a stat that John Gruden's the longest tenured coach that hasn't won a playoff game or hasn't made the playoffs.
I thought he had maybe with Tampa Bay.
No, I mean,
is that not right?
Well, I mean, he's only been in the league for like 3 years. I mean, this turn.
Oh, okay. This time around. Gotcha. So not talking about it. Okay.
No. Every other coach has been either fired or made the playoffs.
That's pretty neat.
Interesting fun fact for you.
Reddit, go figure. Is Montgomery a top 3 round pick? And what's going on with Mixon? Is Mixon a top 3 pick?
Oh, I'm so glad somebody asked about David Montgomery because I made a new drop. So let me see if I can naturally work it in.
I'm fading David Montgomery.
So one of the problems with David Montgomery is that it helped him get more receiving work because Tariq Cohen went out this year. So Tariq Cohen, running back for the Chicago Bears,
106 catches or targets in
and
2018.
I was listening to the Footballers, and I haven't taken any of their sound bites for our show, but I had to put this one in there. So when speaking of Tariq
Cohen sucked.
Andy hit the nail on the head. I couldn't agree more. Cohen sucks. All he does is ruin David Montgomery's value. They run gimmicky plays. He runs the wrong direction, goes down for a loss of 3. 1 in 15 works, and I'd rather have those other 15 plays go to David Montgomery. So
Cohen sucked.
Yeah, I think it hurts Montgomery. What helped him was he had softer matchups at the end of the year, but he should get all the work. We'll see if they pick up anybody in free agency because I think there were a couple moments this year where he got hurt where it made people realize, like, oh, we don't have anybody else that can do what he does.
David Montgomery, I just don't believe that he's a skilled running back. I just don't think he's good.
I don't know how you can't after his end of season.
But look at the competition he played. It was all garbage competition.
But his offensive line's not great. Like, if you watch him play, he looks good when he's running the ball those last games. The big problem with him is they just weren't using him a lot at the start.
The offensive line played so much better at the end of the year. I mean, the Bears actually found a couple of starters for for
a couple guys got healthy. They kind of moved some things and figured it out. But
yeah, and you match that up with bad opponents. Plus, we actually won some of those games, so more garbage time. I'm not buying into Montgomery.
Montgomery, a 3rd round pick for sure. Somebody will take the chance there. Probably not Nick. I don't know. It's like we'll see what the Bears do. Do you believe in the Bears? They retain their coaches, which I'm not going to burn down a building about it, but
I'd rather have James Robinson.
So
David Montgomery.
I think that David Montgomery is a good running back, but not an elite running back. I'd put him in there with James Robinson, with like Connor, with like a bunch of guys that you don't like that are still very usable for fantasy and pretty good on their teams.
But they won't be for long.
No, they will. Yeah, some of them
won't be
not,
for long.
but David will be.
How far has Joe Mixon fallen? Fallen far enough to come right into my arms.
Now we've switched positions. So a guy that I like more than Nick was David Montgomery, and a guy that, besides Tariq Cohen
sucks.
A guy that Nick likes a lot more than me is Joe Mixon. So I'll let you say why Joe Mixon's going to be good.
He's the guy. The offense is going to be good. Joe Mixon figured it out with Joe Burrow right before Joe Burrow went down. It's just a complete reset, and the team was bad enough. You got to think they can get more resources to help the offense out more. And I've seen some rumors of maybe Jamar Chase going there. Or maybe just trying to get some more line help in general.
So Marcy says, Nick, AJ Green, or Joe Mixon for your super team. And AJ Green was brought up, so take a drink. There you go.
Arnold Palmer alert. Arnold Palmer alert. Who wants some Arnie
Only
Palmies?
Here. Only here.
No, Nick loves Cincinnati Bengals with broken feet that can't do anything, that don't play football for 7 games in a row.
There's a reason I like Cincinnati Bengals, because they pick guys and they ride them hard. That's what they do. We got Joe Mixon. He's our running back. Screw the running back by committee. We're giving Joe Mixon the frickin' ball. We got these wide receivers. We're only throwing to these 2 wide receivers. Screw the rest of them. I don't care. Just these guys. That's how I want my points to come down the line. It's predictable.
You are fake news.
Nah, don't buy it.
Every single season, they do it. You could start Boyd. You could start Higgins. You can start Mixon. You can start Burrows. Like, you can start 4 guys.
Yeah, so a lot of it will depend on Burrow's health. I'm watching them and they're drafting. If they don't take like offensive linemen with their first couple picks, I'm just out.
Tyler Boyd was like number 4, number 5 in most weeks inside the top 10.
I do remember us talking about that stat, and he's good. I like Tyler Boyd. If Burrow's there, I think it helps all the wide receivers.
I saw a tiger.
the Tiger King, who should be back. And again, he showed a lot of promise this year, but he was also always under pressure.
Mixon
Part of
or
why he
James
got hurt is
Robinson?
because his line is terrible. Joe Mixon over Robinson, maybe. Man, that'd be one that I'm gonna need to hear some practice reports.
Assuming they don't pick up any running backs, Ronald Jones next year or Joe Mixon.
Oh man! So the problem is again, if Joe is healthy and can play all the games, and like I think he's a more talented running back, especially because he can
Ronald
catch.
Jones gets hurt too, though.
Ronald Jones at the end of the year has disappointed me. Ronald Jones, every time it's about to be the breakout and he's going to be great, that's when he just lets you down in one way or another. He gets the COVID, he breaks a finger, he's got a quad. Like,
who are you letting on the light, bro? AJ Green, he's always going to be with me.
No, thanks, AJ. Sink or swim, buddy.
Yeah, I need a lot of firsts to move off.
But
of
Ronald, what he heard is he's like, oh, like your playoffs are over for fantasy. All right, I'm just going to sit out. I'm going to take it easy. We're resting up so next year I can be a top 7 guy.
Can Derrick Henry carry the ball 300 times next year? He has been extremely durable past couple. Yeah, all he does is run the freaking ball. I mean, he just runs right down the middle. He's too big. You can't stop him. He really doesn't take hits because he's just like gliding down the field like a freaking cannonball. I mean,
We need more dogs.
Yeah, no, he's just going to keep running for 100 years. He's going to be the next Frank Gore.
right. And he's not like one of those like elusive guys that really relies like on super agility. He just pounds the ball and does it really, really well.
And the way he does it too is like the way that you have to tackle him because he's so big isn't like it's just guys just gang tackling, jumping on him.
So,
he just kind of slowly goes.
Pocket says RBs always break down, and
that's fair.
it is historically true.
Yeah,
but
he's a different kind of animal.
this is a different type of player. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule, and I think this may be one of those exceptions that you could actually ride for some serious value because if he does go as the 6th or 7th running back off the board, that's enormous value. Enormous value.
Well, I think a testament to how good he was is that he was
no
like
Pocket, no Drake,
like the second running back in PPR, and he doesn't catch the ball that often. Like, so you have to just run for 1,000,000 yards. And one of the guys, we've talked about it in the past, but one of the reasons that Nick kept Russell Wilson this year is because he's like, every time that I was playing in fantasy, and again, we play multiple teams, so we play different guys multiple times in a year, and he goes, every time I would play against Russell Wilson, I was like, oh no, like I just didn't want to see him because you knew he was going to have a big game that he could put up enough points to basically kind of win a week. And that's exactly how I felt about Derrick Henry. I would just look over and I'm like, oh no, like I don't want to be going against Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry single-handedly won me like 3 weeks this year just because the rest of my team tanked and he put up 60 points. I mean,
yeah, and that's
just single-handedly carrying my team.
There were a couple games at the end of the
valuable.
year where he was in a kind of decent spot and he faded away a little bit. So against Green Bay and then against the Bills, so that worries you a little bit.
All players will do that. Not all players can give you 60 points in a game.
Yeah.
So that's the difference here. I mean, the upside is 5 times higher than anybody else's, and the floor is the same.
I'm gonna try and have him on a team somewhere next.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. For show. I'm getting that for show.
If I can somehow like get the, I don't even know what picks you would have to get in the draft. If you can get away from the draft with Kelsey on your team, I mean,
if you could if maybe Henry
Kelsey
falls to
and
you
Henry,
with like the 5th pick, I like it.
I think you'd have to get like Henry. He'd have to fall to like 7 or 8, and you'd have to get Kelsey somehow mid-second or early second.
It could happen. There are leagues where when you're doing.
We play an auction league,
so
we play an auction league. I might have to just spend up.
It's dangerous.
Marcia, I mean, I'm getting Kelsey, so
neither.
All right.
So we've been arguing about who's going to get
rosters.
Kelsey in our league draft, and Marcy's like, I'm going to get him, and Nick's like, I'm going to get him. And we have a chance in DFS to play him this week, and neither of you two play Kelsey. I played Travis Kelsey. I get him. I have him. He's mine.
I couldn't afford him. Yeah, I had him in there for a little bit. Took him out.
There you go.
Couldn't commit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. For show. I'm getting that for show.
All right.
Pain just as I played him. All right. So for our community league next year, should we make it an auction?
No, absolutely not. Hard pass.
You sure?
Not at all. No, thank you.
Then we can have a bidding war on guys in the league. I think it'd be fun.
Nope.
I think it'd be fun.
Don't like it.
Okay, but we played the Rams.
There you go. Marcy's no auction. No, we're just gonna do it like normal people. Why? I hate the auction. I hate it.
I don't like normal people.
I don't like it at all.
I don't know. It is what it is. Steve the Great, welcome in. All right, end of the first quarter here.
So hold on,
0-6.
Should I give an update of the DFS standings since we got most of the people? So let's see, Misbehavin'. I'm not sure exactly who that one is in first right now. And then we got Kaplow. And then we got myself. I am in third. Papa Bear 300. And then we got Ian in fourth. So Ian's figuring it out. He's getting some things. He's playing players that are not on the IR. AA Costa 847. Lord Tevis. Adilla Farilla. And we got Marcy in eighth, so not in last. Pocket Pool bringing up the rear in ninth. Must have got hammered before making his picks. And in dead last, Nikki B.
That's me.
He's like, if I just win these every week, then nobody's going to want to play with us.
I know.
Right?
I like to play the hits, and I just keep rolling with pretty much the same roster.
Like when you're playing Candyland with your daughter. You can't just smash her every time or she's not going to want to play.
I just wish you would let me take just all the Bills players, just all the way down.
Well, I tried. I finally, it's the first time that I've had a Bill on any lineup anywhere this year. And I play Josh Allen, who everybody's like, Josh Allen's really good. He's going so cheap. Like 13 points.
Yeah, against the number one defense.
What a letdown.
I invited him, having a Casa Gacha. He's a fancy buff, too, and used to write about sports in college for North Carolina. Nice.
All right. Well, we can always use some sports writers to straighten us out.
Would you guys draft Myles Gaskin next year? Where? They're going to draft a running back.
Yeah. Also, thank you for inviting some friends to just donate to the cause when Kamara finally blows up in the second half for 3 touchdowns. But as of right now, if you paid up for Alvin Kamara, who was another one where some of the analysts were like, "Oh, he's going so low."
Warwick, welcome in. Thanks for the host. Welcome.
But yeah, let's give you an update on what Alvin Kamara 1.7 points. The whole half is gone.
I know.
What are you doing now?
Not a whole half, whole first quarter.
Oh, first quarter. I apologize. I'm trying to do a lot of things here. We're working on it.
Time flies, huh? All right, we got some things here. Goro, I'm going to read this. Can you please ask him about his tweets on murder turtles coming to the mainland from the island of Turtleton? He was posting photos he claimed to have bought from a ship on the black market. They show turtles with lasers attached to their heads.
All right, so I believe this question is about Alan Lazard, who did get a receiving touchdown in the Packers game. Goro, also, if you're unfamiliar, one of the best bosses in Mortal Kombat history, so I respect the name.
Perfect.
All right.
Hey, Cameron Brate just got a pass for 16 yards.
Oh, Cameron Brate. I got him in the lineup. My DFS, my low money buy, so I could make room for the other studs like Alvin Kamara with his 1.7 points, and I should have just played 7 Cameron Brates.
Yeah, it is what it is, though.
All right.
Dynasty. Yeah, he had a pretty good fancy day.
All right, hold on. We got a dynasty question.
Yep.
I'm trying to find. I made another drop.
You got a dynasty drop?
I do. I made it. Hold on. This is pretty new.
I'm taking Arnie Palmy right now.
Dynasty.
All right. Extra points, extra credit for anybody who can tell me what this drop is from.
Dynasty.
Sounds like Simpsons.
Nope.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to tell you until the end of the show.
My old neighbor got DeAndre Hopkins, Cooper Kupp, David Johnson for a high first rounder next year, a second and a third rounder the year after, and Benny Snell. I think he got quite a haul. Yeah, no, that's a bad trade.
For the guy that got the picks?
Yeah, you only got a first round pick and a second essentially for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, you could have got that for Hopkins by himself.
No, you could have gotten that for Cooper Kupp by himself.
That's possible.
DeAndre Hopkins is still worth
so I think
too high first.
Made a great deal.
Yeah, no, that's a good deal. Would you guys draft Myles Gaskin? I just said that. I think they're going to draft a running back, and Gaskin's going to be a nobody.
That's the answer. It completely and 100% depends on
I don't even think he's the handcuff.
Where they draft a running back, if they draft a running back, or if they bring in a free agent. If they bring in Aaron Jones, I'm not having him on my team. If they draft a running back in the top 4 rounds, maybe if they draft one in the 4th, I take a look at him in the late, 11th round.
Right.
But if they take somebody in the top 3, I probably don't play.
Not interested.
Mess with Gaskin.
I would agree. Let's see here. What is Austin Eckler? Is he a top 3 round pick? Yeah. I'd take
top
Austin
3.
Eckler high.
PPR, he should be better than half PPR.
Austin Eckler or Nick Chubb?
I'll take Austin Eckler in a PPR, probably Chubb in a
There
standard.
really are 12 running backs I'd like to have.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Chubb actually,
they're all so similar in value that it's hard to distinguish between them.
I'm not a huge Chubb fan. I know he has some big runs. He's a good running back. He has good yardage, but again, he doesn't catch it. He's on the Browns. I never trust the Browns.
I don't know.
One Brown who I do have on my dynasty team who I have liked what I've been seeing from Jarvis Landry is another good game today. Gets a touchdown. So keep an eye on Jarvis as a guy that you might want to throw on a team.
Sohan, where would you all draft Akers next year? We're talking redraft.
I'm hoping he falls to the late third. I can get him with my third pick. You don't think so?
No chance.
Again,
Akers,
we talked about a lot of running backs. There's some wide receivers. People take wide receivers.
I kind of want to just do a mock draft.
We will do a mock draft.
Want to do one right now?
I don't know if we'll do it next week.
Early preseason.
So another problem
way too early mock draft.
Problem with the mock draft is like the platforms as they are right now aren't set up for it yet. They still kind of have the last year's rankings. We'd have to find one that's kind of more up to date. Usually it takes till after the Super Bowl, but we could even just kind of write up on paper how we think it would go, and we could talk a little bit about it. That might be what we
can't
go.
believe Braid is a thing now.
There you go. Marcy got the drop.
Mulan.
That is what it is from.
Dynasty.
You don't meet a girl like that every dynasty. All right. Yeah. Marcy's a Disney fan.
I'll keep inviting all my gentlemen callers to the DK room. There you go. That's what we do.
Again, NIU is wanting to hear it.
Dynasty.
Yep.
Warwick with the sub. Thank you very, very much. Never trust the Browns. There you go.
That's a good.
We got a sub because you said never trust the Browns. Bambo, welcome in.
Words to live by.
Come and hang out. Sent you a DK link again. No dice, huh? So another field goal here. So my touchdown bet's still alive. Still need Alvin Kamara for that first touchdown.
I could use that as well. I hope that Kamara would have a much bigger game.
Diggs moved up to a top 5 wide receiver. I'm taking Diggs.
I think you could take him. I think you could put him at 5. No problem. Like
I'm interchanging him at 2B.
2? Nah, too high.
Why?
There's just other guys I like better.
What? Okay, Devontae Adams.
Yep, it's Devontae number 1.
And then I think it's probably Hopkins or Diggs as 2.
Again, I like Hopkins. I like Calvin Ridley. I like Tyreek Hill. Probably Tyreek Hill I might throw 2. If Pat comes back from this concussion and his brain's still working.
I just don't see it.
We should, again, just pull it up. You got it. The top 5 as they sit for the regular season this year. We'll read them off, and we'll see where.
As points scored this year, you mean?
Yeah. So I'll say Diggs was like number 5.
Diggs was number 1.
Is that can't be right.
I may be wrong.
Again, maybe if you count like the postseason and everything, but we don't. Diggs won't be 1.
Not all offense. Wide receiver.
All right. So we got Devontae Adams. So it looks.
All right. So Devontae Adams 1, Stephon Diggs number 2.
Diggs was 2. All right. That surprised me. I thought he was like 3 or 4. But Tyreek Hill I like a lot. I'd still rather have Tyreek. Hopkins, Kyler had some injuries. He missed some time, so I'd like Hopkins better still. Ridley I like. Justin Jefferson, great rookie season. If he can build on that, I don't think the Vikings will need to pass as much next year.
But here's the difference, right? Devontae Adams, 149 targets. Stephon Diggs, 166 targets. Tyreek Hill, 135. I mean, he did it on 87 catches. That's super high efficiency with 15 touchdowns. I get that it's a really good, offense, but I don't think touchdowns are a reliable statistic, especially when you have 15 of them. I mean, we can't count on 18 touchdowns from Devontae Adams again next year.
Maybe we can. But no, I get it. I think
Diggs over DK. DK, I'm lowering as we go.
So it's also worth noting that Seattle came out. There was a report that they were talking like that they want to get back to just running the ball. Right. Towards the end of the year, they seem to want to run more. We'll see what happens with Chris Carson. He's a free agent, so if he goes somewhere else. DJ Dallas, when he got a chance, he's not great at pass blocking, but he showed for a rookie some chops.
There's a scenario where Robinson ends up the biggest winner here because let's say the Dolphins deal works out, right? And Miami has to trade all their resources. They still have money, so they can still sign Allen Robinson. So you put Allen Robinson on the Dolphins with Deshaun Watson, he's instantly a top 5 guy in my eyes.
Yeah, no, Allen Robinson in a different spot with a better quarterback. I like. Again,
he's on here in the top 10. He's put up
top numbers with
Biscuit and Foley's.
Yeah, with Mitchell Trubisky. Look at so how many biscuits did he pass him?
Oh man, I don't know how many of these were biscuits and how many of these were Foley's, but he's got 102 receptions, 151 targets.
Big Mama's handing out biscuits, baby.
All right, we got it.
He was third in the league in targets.
All right, so who's up high that you're worried about that it's not going to happen next year? Is DK the one you're worried about? Tyler Lockett is up there in the top, and I'm concerned about Tyler Lockett.
It's a trap.
How far up does a healthy Cortland Sutton move? I
think never heard of her.
Again, the same thing like I said about the running backs. The top 10 running backs are super interchangeable almost. At least the number 3 through number 10 are. Wide receivers are kind of the same thing. Cortland Sutton could be anywhere from 10 to 25, really.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump back and readdress.
Yeah.
So we got one Akers second round. I think part of it, the reason that you also saw his blow up at the end here was Darrell Henderson, who was another rookie that they took the year before Akers. He was out. So if he comes back, that hurts him a little bit. Again, late second, early third. Diggs over DK. Yeah, I say yes. I know Nick says yes. We both. DK's a freak athlete. He's great, but again, I think his offense.
I take Diggs over DK. Again, the Bills aren't at risk of running the ball more. They're only at risk of throwing the ball more. So,
Keenan Allen, I like a lot too.
I like Keenan Allen. Again, there's so many wide receivers in a good situation that.
Keenan Allen was getting 10 plus targets a game, and he missed some time at the end because their team wasn't in competition. He had the hamstring thing, but again, that should be cleared up by next year. I actually personally might take Keenan Allen over Diggs. Again, if I could pick between the two and I can wait like another round and get Keenan, I'm definitely in on Keenan.
First round ADP as of right now, without draft, without knowing a lot of pieces. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara are your top three.
Okay.
Then Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry, Saquon round out your first half. And then the back end of the first is Tyreek, Kelsey, Nick Chubb, DeAndre, Eckler, and Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
So that's your first round.
Eckler, I probably wouldn't get him in the first. I'd probably try and get him in the second. Travis Kelce at 8. That's interesting.
6. So Austin Eckler would be the 7th running back off the board.
So
here.
the world is on board with us that Travis Kelce has become a mid first round pick.
It's undeniable at this point.
All right, he was healthy all year.
It's undeniable.
All right,
you have to take it. Somebody has to take him this high. That's his value garners that draft pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one for show. For show. I'm getting that for show.
Where is Julio? What a great question. So this is some news that we'll share with our viewers. Nick and I are in a dynasty league. Fan of the show, Greg Nordstrom, my brother. He is taking over for old man Doug, who has decided that the league is too much fun for him and he can't take it anymore.
Doug's just outie.
Greg joining the Dynasty League, and he actually inherits a team that has Julio Jones and Odell Beckham Jr. So we'll talk about both those guys. Those older guys missed time with injuries. Odell was a more significant injury. What do you think about those guys? Where are they going off the board? Do you want them on your team?
Is this a pick 6 here?
Ooh, knocked out at the 1?
That's not ideal for my bet skis.
All right.
There's got to be a flag somewhere out there, right?
No. Big play.
If Allen Robinson goes to a team with a QB, he could be a top 6 or 7.
I think that's reasonable.
Seriously, if Allen Robinson goes to the Dolphins and Watson ends up going to the Dolphins, I'll take Allen Robinson over DK.
Ooh. I'm still going to take DK, but again, he's going to be very much a guy that I look at. We've seen him on the Bears. He makes really good catches. He runs good routes. He's been pretty durable.
Touchdown to Evans. All right.
The only thing that could maybe decline for him is if he goes to a team with other good wide receivers, where he's pretty much been the number one read and the second read for Mitch Trubisky this whole time. Volume. Let's say he goes to Tampa Bay, and Antonio Brown was gone, something like that. There are situations where he could go to a better quarterback, but there's more good wide receivers, and he doesn't get the same target share. That's what I'm saying.
They won't be able to afford that. The people that pay Allen Robinson don't have a bona fide wide receiver on their roster. You can't pay 2 wide receivers.
Kenny Galladay takes off and he goes to the Lions. You like him a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
If Stafford's there.
Okay.
If Stafford's there, I'll take him.
Quarterback was it Matt Stafford?
I mean, he's not a top 8 necessarily on the Detroit Lions. If he goes to a better situation, for sure. I'm staying far away from DK next season. Yeah, same. I'm not picking him up anymore.
I probably won't get him as high as he goes, but if he has a slow start of the year, I'm aggressively trying to get him in Dynasty.
On this ADP, he's the first pick of the second round. So you have to take DK, Calvin Ridley, Stephon Diggs goes at 15.
15. They don't disrespect.
They're
disrespecting your boy.
That's fine.
No, Diggs. Nobody likes Stephon.
Right after Diggs, here's Aaron Jones, middle of the second.
All right, so Aaron Jones in the mid-second.
This is assuming he's at Green Bay. This is the assumption that he stays.
I don't hate that. That makes a certain level of sense to me.
If he stays in Green Bay, there's no way he finishes outside the top 5 or 6 if he's healthy.
I think in our sleeper league, he was the 5th running back on the year, and again, that's with him.
They have him as the 12th.
If you can jump back to the page where we got the stats, if you could pull up his just rushing and attempts, it's got to be 100 less than some of the other top guys. Like,
not really.
I don't know if
it's not.
Let's see.
I think he still gets as many attempts.
Just
as
rushing attempts. Give me the rushing attempts for him, and then like the top 3 or 4 guys.
Let's see, rushing attempts. Aaron Jones is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Number 10.
All right.
Number 10 rushing attempts. 201.
201. All right. So what is it? Derrick Henry at the top with 378.
378.
And then next best, we
Dalvin
got Dalvin
Cook
Cook
over
with 312. So again, he's just he's been pretty efficient for what he's been able to break off.
And really, Josh Jacobs 273, and he missed a game. So I mean, he's kind of in that. I'm not scared of Josh Jacobs really. You're gonna get him super late here, according to.
I had one team with Josh Jacobs, and I'm not gonna have him again next year.
Yeah, that's fine. You're not gonna have him back.
I'll let somebody else take Josh Jacobs unless he falls.
All right. So the second round in this mock draft or ADP, DK, Calvin Ridley, Stephon Diggs, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders, James Robinson, Zeke Elliott, Cam Akers. So 18, 19, 20, James Robinson, Zeke, and Cam Akers. I like Cam Akers more than the other two, probably.
Agree.
And then Zeke, and then James Robinson. I'd reverse the order personally.
Yeah, if
and Miles Sanders above all of them.
We're sure that Dak is going to be back again. I'm pretty out on Zeke. I'll probably just let other people take him.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the chat though, because we had a couple.
Here, let me just round out this.
Go ahead.
Second round. AJ Brown, Michael Thomas, Keenan Allen, Patrick Mahomes. So first quarterback comes off at 2-12. Right after Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, AJ Brown. So some big wide receivers still there at the late second.
All right.
Okay. You were saying?
So the one that I saw is Chris Godwin's value. What is it? He's a free agent this year. I think if he let's say the first situation, he just goes back to Tampa Bay and Tom's still there. And let's say all the guys are still there. Same situation this year. He's kind of coming on at the end of the year. They were starting to figure things out. He did have an injury where he had a pin in his finger. Same thing Ronald Jones had.
I think he's a high-end wide receiver too.
Okay, I like that. If he goes to a different situation where they kind of have him again, Miami, or let's say he goes to the Jets, somewhere where he's going to be the featured guy. If again, it's crazy, but if he goes to the Bears and they move on from Allen Robinson, I'd like him there. I'd probably like him more than I liked Allen Robinson, which is saying a lot. And who knows who their quarterback will be, but
I think you're sleeping on Allen Robinson.
Chris Godwin is a good age. He's shown a lot of talent. He finds the end zone. I like him a lot.
Trade has been completed in our sleeper league.
Oh, what do we got?
Uh-oh. It's probably going to be a banger. It's probably not going to be a banger.
So Bam makes a good point. I'm really confident Aaron Jones stays, but then that basically confirms that Jamal Williams leaves. So it'd be interesting if Jamal Williams finds himself on a
Tua
team.
and a fourth for Ryan Tannehill in Dynasty.
Ooh, I like Tannehill's side bet.
I do
better.
Too. Let's see. Brandon is getting Tua in the pick. Brandon is trading away
Tannehill. I like it. I like it for his team. Will Wentz be a QB in Philly next year? Yeah, it sounds like their management wants him to be. They hired a new coach, which also bodes well for him because it sounds like the management picked a guy that will try and force him to be the quarterback. It sounds like of all the contracts in the league, he has the most difficult to get away from. I've also heard some reports that they want to also use Hurts, though, and kind of have a two-headed quarterbacking
It's not going to matter because I'm staying away from
Eagles,
the team entirely.
Yeah, they are trash, and
I don't even want to waste our time talking about them anymore.
Hard pass.
I don't want.
Hard pass.
I don't want any of the pieces.
Carson Wentz will get another chance.
I agree. I don't want any of them. Really confident Aaron Jones. Yeah.
So Jalen Reagor is a
don't think he
guy
does.
that I did throw out an offer for, and that still might go through with at some point this year. But Reagor, he's a young guy. He's
a guy.
Has some upside. I need some wide receivers. I'll talk about, again, these are not the most exciting trades, but I did trade away Josh Reynolds, who had a decent game. He led the Rams in receiving.
If you thought Watson Texans drama was juicy, I think the Eagles. No, the Watson Texans drama is
100% more
10 times
juicy.
worse than the Wentz thing. 10 times worse.
But yeah, I was able to get a third in 2020 for Josh Reynolds, so that's exciting. And the other one is, because I do actually want to talk about this one a little bit. I traded away Carr because I didn't need him. I've got Mahomes and a couple other quarterbacks. I just really just had him to trade away, and I got like the third or fourth in the future. And what I got was James White. So James White, running back for the Patriots, and here's. It's a bit of a conspiracy, but here we go. All right, before you crap on it.
I'm going to crap on it.
So James White is a free agent this year. All right, the Patriots, they didn't really use him this much with Cam Newton. does it make all the sense in the world for
he's
him
not
to
going
go
to
to Tampa Bay? Why?
Because he's 28 years
He's
old.
the perfect running back to sign for nothing, to just go try and chase a championship. He complements them because Ronald Jones doesn't catch the ball. He can be the guy that comes in, catches the ball. He knows Tom.
If I had to bet money, I'd bet James White.
James White. Did I say Washington?
Doesn't take another snap.
So I also have Washington. James White, it could happen.
I don't think he even signs with a team. He's 28. He'll be 29 by next year.
He's 28. He's been healthy. He catches the ball. Those guys that catch the ball as running backs, they stay durable and relevant longer than those guys that are the bruisers and the bashers.
I wouldn't give up
Tampa Bay. That's largely why I made the trade on the off chance that he goes to Tampa Bay.
I wouldn't trade AJ Green.
If he goes to Tampa Bay, is he at least a usable piece on a fantasy team?
Because they don't run the ball enough.
If he gets 10 points a fantasy game?
No. Waller over Kittle. I'm taking Waller over Kittle. It may be crazy, but Kittle gets hurt too much.
Kittle does get hurt.
I'm just not as in. I would take Kittle for sure, but he's going to cost too much for me. I just know I'm not going to come away with him on my
Hard pass.
No, I won't get Kittle either, likely. But if he comes out and he's having a good camp and everybody's like, oh, he's so healthy, he's so strong, he looks so good. Okay, maybe.
So pocket Garoppolo might be gone. What's to do to Kittle's value?
Probably hurts him.
If it's Deshaun Watson, I love it.
If it's Deshaun, I think it hurts Kittle because I think he's going to be able to throw it to wide receivers instead of just the tight end every time. Yeah, all of a sudden, Kittle's maybe not the number one wide receiver on that team.
But they're going to double their offensive output through the air.
Yeah.
They'll stop running it so much.
I don't like it as much.
That's fine. I would still like it.
Yeah, Kittle needs to get healthy.
So an interesting situation too. The Lions just hired a tight ends coach as their head coach. So Hawkinson.
Oh, the Hawk! It's happening.
We bumping up Hawkinson.
Hercules.
Stonks going up. Little Hawkinson action.
Sure. Give him a bump.
Top 4 tight end.
Yeah, he finished there this year, didn't he?
I think so. Didn't have a great finish to the season, but.
Give him the 4. The 4.
So Saints up or down in this one 6-10. Buccaneers after a field goal and a turnover get a touchdown. They're up by 4. 9 minutes in the second quarter left here.
Yeah, I could use some more points.
Pretty boring.
Could use some more points from Godwin and Kamara.
Yeah. Not a whole lot going on.
Yikes.
Smith touchdown on Saints, but flag. Okay. Don't need the Saints or the Smith touchdown.
Don't need that.
Man. Jameis Winston? Is this a Jameis Winston throw?
Oh,
is that correct?
Jameis the Winston.
ESPN says Winston, but I don't know.
Future quarterback of the Saints, a guy that I'm stashing in Dynasty. Just if he becomes the quarterback of the Saints, I can get a second for him. I'm the smartest man in the world, right?
For who?
For Deshaun Watson. Or I'm sorry, not Deshaun. For Jameis Winston, quarterback of the Saints.
I'll take Winston from you right now.
For a second or for a third?
For a second. For what? Future third. I'll do 2/3.
Can I have Robert Woods for him in some piece? No. A second?
Yeah, Robert Woods in a first. You can have him.
Right. So now we're mixing our pieces up.
I will give you Robert Woods for a first and Winston.
The 111 in Winston? I got to figure out what I can get at that 111 spot. Probably just get the younger wide receiver in the first.
I'd do that, but
I'll give you the 2.5 in Winston for him right now. For Robert Woods. No? All right.
No, I put Woods' value at about the 1.8, 1.9.
What is he, 28, 29? Probably be 29 next year.
He's like 23. So they're calling it a touchdown. All right, there it is.
All right, who got it?
It was to Traquan Smith. And early...
Traquan was out.
No, Traquan's in. So Tom Brady... 35 yards passing. I'm glad this wasn't Brees throwing it because I have a bet on Tom Brady to throw 16 more yards than Drew Brees. So that would have hurt.
Interesting.
Darnold or Fields? Darnold. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold again. I think he's okay.
Again, I think if you put Sam Darnold even on like the 49ers, I think he's probably pretty.
Pocket brings up a great point. I have seen a lot of mock drafts for the NFL where they are projecting Justin Fields to go with the second pick to the Jets. I think that
it's not going to happen.
I don't think that.
I think
they need other things. If anything, I could see them trading back for a couple picks and just trying to build their line. Again, that's what I think is the smarter move.
Yeah, I think they take the lineman and don't take a quarterback
unless they can trade Sam Darnold for something.
I think it's
maybe they trade Sam, get Fields, and then use the picks they get for him. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, again, I think there's going to be a lot of unfolding to do here in the offseason.
Oh yeah,
for sure,
every year.
Yeah, but this one I think there's going to be
even more.
The Watson moving.
I'm here for it.
Watson moving is going to be just.
Robert Woods is
change.
28 years of age.
Yeah. He's still signed for like 12 more years. Look at his numbers. What would you pay for those numbers?
Oh, let's see. You got them pulled up, and just let me look at that.
I don't.
All right, here we go.
But I can.
Let's see. His high, he had only 2 games over 20 points. The only thing is, like, he'd kind of fit my team.
Ethan had 25 on Mike Evans' first touchdown score for almost $400.
Robert Woods is what you thought he was. He just, every game, it's like, between 10 and 20 points. Basically, like 90% of his games.
And it's huge. It is super nice to have that reliable
27. I like him a lot more at 27 than 28.
You want to know who else is 28? Devontae Adams, and you're taking him number 1 among wide receivers.
Devontae Adams is a young 28, though. Robert Woods is an old 28.
Is he?
Doesn't it feel that way?
It doesn't. It doesn't
your
feel
soul
that at
tell
all.
you that? I'll look at that,
don't get it.
and we'll talk about
Don't
it.
get
But how about 2 seconds? 2 seconds? No? Then you parlay that into a first?
No.
With your witchy ways?
Give me a first and a second, and then we'll talk.
Just trade it to Andrew for
Give me
Tyreek Hill.
Give me the first and the 2-5, and then we'll have a deal.
Oh, just straight up?
You're 111 and the 2-5, and we'll make that happen. Will Frank Gore be on any team next year? I think Frank Gore's time is over in the NFL. I think he's done. I think he just turned 50. I think he's going to call it quits there. Adrian Peterson, I think, kind of needs the cash. So I think Adrian Peterson's going to keep playing. If he can get a job, that'll be the tricky part. But again, there's bad teams everywhere that need a running back name. I think Peterson could kind of turn this into a coaching thing afterwards. We'll see what they do. They can have a joint retirement party. There you go. I like that idea. Is Higbee going to be a top 5 tight end? If Gerald Everett leaves, I'll firmly put Higbee in the top 6-7 conversation. I'd probably be okay with the top 5. I'd probably be still okay with that. All right, let's see what this trade offer is.
All right, here you go.
Is it what I asked for? Oh, no. I'm scared.
Gore and the AP can retire together. And just,
Greg, if you're looking to making a trades, I like Taylor. Take a look at my team and tell me, man.
We all like Taylor. Taylor's good. Good looking running back out there this year at the end of the year.
All right, let's see what this banger is.
All right.
Let's get weird.
We'll do it live.
No, I'm not doing that.
That's the one you just said, right?
No, I said the 111 and the 2-5.
No, you said Jameis Winston, the 111. That was the first thing. Check the tape. We'll check the tape.
Check the tape. I said no to that one.
If you said, I think
Come
you said
on,
no to
the channel confirmed.
You
The
said
channel
no to
confirmed.
Jameis Winston and the 2-5. No, you said yes
for sure.
to Jameis Winston and the 111.
Oh, no, I won't do that.
What?
No, I said he's valued at like the 1819.
Oh, my gosh. I gave you the 111 and the quarterback you wanted.
Yeah, Winston's not even on a team.
Nick has one quarterback in Dynasty. I thought that's
all
the guy you
need.
said you liked
You only
because
have
he's
to
going to be
start
the
one
Saints quarterback.
I don't understand what you want.
Oh, my gosh.
Will the
Bye
Chargers
weeks.
win 10 games with a new coach? Yes. Yes. I like the Chargers. If they can put the scheme together, Herbert's a stud.
They got the talent.
Herbert's a stud.
They've got Austin Eckler's a good running back. They've got Keenan Allen's a good wide receiver. Herbert's being able to throw it to him.
You're going to Derwin James back
I
again
think
next
Mike
year.
Williams
They have
is
a
a
good
free
core.
agent, which I know that Nick hates Mike Williams,
He's
but I'd be
inconsequential.
curious to see where he goes. He could put up some touchdowns somewhere.
Brady interception. Don't hate that. I'll miss my $5 again. Herbert top 5 quarterback. Dynasty. If I'm starting an NFL franchise, he's a top 5 quarterback.
That makes sense. He won't finish in the top 5 next year, but it's not like it wouldn't shock me if he did. He could have a big year.
If you were starting an NFL team,
he's got a cannon.
Who do you want above Herbert? If you're starting an NFL team,
Oh, like I want Pat Mahomes. I might avoid Lamar, even though I like Lamar for fantasy. If I was actually trying to build like a real life dynasty team,
Lamar forces you to play a certain way.
Absolutely, and the guy that came in as his backup actually looked real good. Kind of doing the things that he does.
Right.
So that was interesting, also. But man,
he's a system quarterback that he's just really good at.
Yeah, you got to count on all the old guys that are great quarterbacks right now.
I think
all
I'm
these
going,
guys that are going to be in the finals.
I'd go Mahomes, Deshaun,
Russell's getting up there in age a little
He's
bit as well.
getting there.
Josh
He's like
Allen.
34.
You like Josh Allen?
I like Josh Allen.
All right.
And then, I'd probably put Herbert there, 5'6".
Do you guys think Mahomes is soft? I don't think Mahomes is hard. Like, if that makes sense. I think Mahomes is like just
phrasing
pretty tough. He came back from that knee injury pretty quick. But yeah, no, he's not.
Goodness.
He's not built like a house. You know, he's got a slighter frame as far as quarterbacks go. And
I think
he could get broken.
I think he plays so casual that he's just going to get smoked.
I think he actually had a concussion. I don't think he was faking it, and he didn't want to go back into the game.
He for sure had a concussion. They just wouldn't let him play anymore. Unfortunately.
Now I wouldn't label him as soft, but I wouldn't label him as like you said, just a guy that's going to play through his broken leg or anything like that. He's not. I don't know who's the toughest guy. I hate to say Brett Favre because we hate him because he's a Packer, but he's not going to just Favre it, and he's not going to Jared Goff it and play with the broken thumb.
Maybe he went out there with some injuries.
Roethlisberger's tough.
Yep, that's the case. If Jameis is the quarterback for the Saints next year, then yeah, I'll take him for the 1-1 in that. I'll do that. Where will Juju be next year? On TikTok, probably.
Yeah, just dancing his way into nothingness. Juju to the Eagles. Feel right?
To the Eagles? They can't trade. No.
Why not? Feels eagle-y.
I've seen some people taking like Devontae Smith or Jamar Chase to the Eagles. It's like, you just bury an asset right out of the gate. It's like, welcome to the league. You're never going to make another dollar.
Oh, so sorry. Thanks for coming.
We're going to ruin your entire career.
Could be.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. So Tom Brady interception. The play was reversed. Okay, so Tom Brady incomplete. All right, 4th and 1, punting it away. That's fine. Alrighty. So Bills Chiefs next week. What do you think?
I'm here for it. I hope Pat can get in there, be healthy.
What time are the games next week? We got to pick a
I think they're
time.
the same as this week. I could be wrong.
But there's 4 games this week.
But like on one day, or is it one day one and one day the next? I thought there were 2 games, same times on like Sunday.
Let's see here. Hopefully that's the night game. I'd much rather watch the night game be the Bills and Chiefs. A player was claimed off waivers. Sunday, 6:40 p.m. Eastern. So yep, you're right. Bills Chiefs next week, 5:40 our time. We'll go live again. Same time?
Sunday?
Good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, perfect. So you can meet us back here. We're not going off just yet, but we're going to start heading that way. Get your questions ready if you got any final ones for us. We're going to probably stick with you close to halftime here, though.
Cohen sucked.
You hate Cohen.
I do.
Bills Chiefs, I think, could be what I would want to see for the Super Bowl. So I'm excited to see that matchup. I kind of hope the Packers make it because Packers Chiefs matchup seems kind of where we're headed. Don't you think?
I'd watch it. Yeah, I'm here for it. Like I said, it'd be fun to watch.
I hate the Packers.
Hope the Packers lose as always. But
I wouldn't mind watching the Packers lose on the national stage.
Honestly, I've been watching teams and the Packers look very good. Like if I didn't hate them so much, I'd be like, oh yeah, the Packers, they're definitely going to be at the Super Bowl.
Again, since I've transitioned more to fantasy and the Bears just hate their fans, I don't hate the Packers as much as I used to. Just because
I hate them as much.
I love fantasy football. I'm just that into it.
Ooh, I like cheese.
Just take vacation for the first week of NCAA basketball tournament. There you go.
Well, if they have it, somebody will get scared and can't do it.
Get out. Sorry, we're not leaving. Well, Ty Gurley be a starting running back next year. Honestly, I think Ty Gurley might be on his way out of the league.
See ya.
He'll probably get a shot from somebody. But
if I had Todd Gurley in a dynasty, I'd be selling him for a bag of chips. If I could get a late second, I'd be psyched.
Again, we're getting to the point where I only want guys on their rookie contract for running backs.
That makes sense. I get it.
Honestly.
Again, still, if I could in Dynasty, like if you could have Kamara right now, if someone made you a decent deal and you could get him, if you could get Christian's not on his rookie. Like there are definitely elite running backs that have good deals. Dalvin Cook.
There's elite running backs, but to Pocket's point earlier, once they hit 27, it's over.
Yeah, it does. It seems to be they're different ages. So for wide receivers, once they hit 30, I'm kind of looking to bail. If 29, you might have to sell them to get peak value. And running backs, it does seem to be like 25. You're starting to get to that point where at 26, 27, you're probably.
And that's when they're getting their second contract. Usually 25, 26.
I completely agree. There's that age range. So that's same thing. If any running back over 26, I'm leery of, and any wide receiver over 29, I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same vein as that. Tight ends, they can be 40. If Kelsey's 40, I'm probably still taking him.
So Ian says he wish he'd played Kamara. Did Kamara sneak one in that I missed?
I don't know. Maybe here he goes for a long one. No. He said, I wish I hadn't played Kamara.
Did I read it wrong?
What? No, you didn't. What's Taylor's value with Hines there in Indy?
I only got Kamara at 5.8 right now.
With Marlon Mack out, for sure. I don't know.
Even if Mack comes back, it's Jonathan Taylor's now. He's the guy.
Yeah.
Like, the only worry is that maybe, kind of like this year, they just try and work in those other guys to keep them fresh for their playoff run if they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I'm throwing Taylor up there in the elite category almost. Elite B. Well, then never mind.
Pretty good.
Yeah, so I'd probably take JT fourth. I think that's why I put him before. I'd take him after the big three. The reason I say that is because
So are you taking him before, you're not taking him before Devontae Adams?
Yeah.
You are?
I'd take him before Devontae
Nah,
Adams.
you're crazy.
Barely, but I think I would.
Crazy. Who's the quarterback? You don't know what's going on.
I know, but again, it's the most easily replicable position, I think, from the RB standpoint, just because of the offensive line and the offensive system. I think Rivers comes back for another season. I think it's just another... Did you know Phillip Rivers threw for 4,000 yards this year?
I knew that Phillip Rivers had a surprisingly good stats.
How?
Just
How?
kind of limp-armed it to different guys.
How? Is Taylor a top 10 RB drafted? He'll be in the top 10 RBs drafted, yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
100%. Antonio Gibson draft value with no QB.
So Antonio Gibson's an interesting one because Antonio Gibson's a guy that, again, depending on what type of league you're in, he'll get hyped up and he'll get pushed up boards just on the hype alone of what he could be. But from what we did see of him, he had that one monster game. And besides that, Washington, their whole situation, we'll see who their quarterback is. I don't love their offense. We'll see. They've got a couple wide receivers that have been injured that are going to be coming back. So keep an eye on those Washington wide receivers that come off injury. If any of them start to flash those early games, those will be guys to run out quick and pick up, especially in Dynasty.
But the benefit is here, I almost feel like this was pretty close to the floor. Your line wasn't great. You had inconsistent quarterback play all season long, and you still managed to put up pretty good numbers from the running back spot. I hope he can catch more passes. I hope the team gets better so they can get more opportunity to run the ball. They need a quarterback.
Banjo says he's on the Gibson train. So Gibby,
good luck, brothers.
I hope he works out for you. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be on my teams, but
what's the deal with Scary Terry? How far does he fall? So this is the situation that's interesting. If somehow Watson goes to Washington, I'm moving Scary Terry up a ton.
Yeah,
an absolute ton. And Antonio Gibson too. I'd put Antonio Gibson not a lot higher, but I'd put him in the top RB1 conversation for sure.
Yeah.
He runs a ton.
He does.
He's a good runner.
He can catch. Again, McKissick, he got a lot of play this year, which that could phase out next year.
Right. But Scary Terry's a very good football player. And if he had a quarterback, like I said,
all right, Kamara getting involved a little bit.
Same thing with Allen Robinson. With shoddy quarterback play, he still had very good fantasy numbers. And that's not easy to do for sure.
Kamara was tiptoeing the sideline, got popped, tapped the other guy on the helmet. Like, if it fires him up a little bit, like there's certain guys that if they need to get popped one time and they get a little angry. So let's see if Kamara can get a touchdown on this drive. But
he doesn't. There's a penalty and they go back 4th and 7.
Devastating.
Sorry. He was running the position, has the coach that made CMC. I'm also on the Gibson train. I think we're going to see that kind of go into next year as well. We're going to see, I think CEH is going to have kind of a rebound. I think the rookies are going to get even better. I think even the wide receiver rookies that we saw from last year will get a little bit better. Just because it was such a weird season, no preseason. I mean, kind of got thrown into the fire right out of the gate.
Will CJ Uzama be a top 10 tight end next year? Almost assuredly. I think CJ's a free agent, actually. He did get picked up in our Dynasty League. Coming off, the thing about him is he had the Achilles injury, so that's a lot tougher to come back from than an ACL. So I weep for what CJ Uzama could have been, but I don't think he'll ever achieve what he could have this year. I'm trying to think. I was going back. So the Gibson we were talking about.
So in this game, at almost halftime, your two historic quarterbacks have a combined 98 passing yards.
That's not great.
And are combined 14 of 29.
The Arthritis Bowl.
28.
No,
Not good. Not great, Bob.
Maybe a testament to the defenses. They both have pretty good defense.
I think Breeze showed up and he goes, I'm retiring. I already know this is going to be bad.
Bad enough. I get it.
Maybe it'll be like one of those situations with, what was it, the Colts or where he retired? Jets. Where he retired at halftime. He went to halftime. I'm too old for this. I'm out.
Well, there you go. It happens.
It was great.
It happened once. I don't know if that's ever happened, but.
Pocket's still in here flaming Marcy. Some things never change. All right, 2-minute warning. Little break here. 3rd and 7 for the Bucks. All right, got any last things you'd like to cover?
No, other than that, I think that it kind of covers what I wanted to talk about.
Cohen sucks.
Cohen sucks. Let's see. Besides that, no. Let's maybe next week's playoff.
Marcy, you want to hit us with that Discord link as well? What'd you say?
So next week's playoff matchups. Let's see. Right now, we're not sure who's going to be taking on Green Bay, but I hate to say it, but I'm probably taking Green Bay.
Yeah, I'd take Green Bay over either of these teams, even though Green Bay got stomped by the Buccaneers, so it'd be kind of a nice revenge game.
Bills, Kansas City. I'm going to say if Mahomes is there, I'll take Kansas City, but if he's out, I think you give the Bills a fighting chance.
Honestly, I think Kansas City has a 60% chance of winning. I think
Without
Buffalo.
Mahomes?
With Mahomes.
With Mahomes.
And I think Buffalo's got 40% chance, which I think
You've
is
been a lot higher on Buffalo than me.
I don't know. I think people are sleeping on them. I don't know how you can deny for what they've done all season. They've been pretty solid.
Played some soft opponents, but no, they've come through in the playoffs. Again, I just don't think they looked real great in that last matchup against the Ravens. But like you said, Ravens defense probably better than Kansas City's defense.
For sure.
How did Marcy get mod? Because we like her more than you. No.
Marcy's already deleting messages.
No.
Here we go.
Marcy's just been real active and, always in the Discord and stuff. But Pocket definitely still the number one fan because he brought us a Mandalorian helmet. You can't stop that, right?
Yeah, no, Pocket's
unless I get the full suit of Mandalorian armor. Pocket's the number one fan. But Marcy's the most responsible one. Come on.
That's true. And again, we appreciate the help with the comments and chats.
For sure.
And,
somebody's got to rein in Pocket when he gets all belligerent. Starts calling people. I don't even know. But.
Oh, man. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us this evening. We'll do it again next week. Hopefully, these quarterbacks decide to start throwing here in the second half.
Yeah. No, we appreciate it.
I want to watch some good football.
And, honestly, I'm excited for the offseason. Lots to talk about. We'll do some mocks. We'll talk about the rookie class. We'll see if I trade away all my picks. I'll be less interested to Nick for Robert Woods, but
yeah.
All right.
The 111 and the 2-5. We'll do it right now.
All right. So Discord party. Hopefully the second half of this game, Kamara and Godwin just pop off. I can win that in my first DFS. But yeah. So we'll see you next week. Thanks everybody. Appreciate you. Had a lot of fun in the Discord.
Thanks for the subscription. If you're watching us on YouTube, follow, like, subscribe,
absolutely.
Comment.
Again, if you find us on YouTube and you want to join us live and jump in the chat, we stream live on Twitch.
Oh yeah.
So just
all off season too.
Easy download, free app, and you just go in, search Fantasy Addicts. We're in the Just Talk section, correct?
Pretty much.
All right.
Job's done.
We'll see you next time.
Take it easy.